Hello everyone, my name is Prajakta Dhage and I am from Department of Zoology, KTHM College, Nashik. Today I will be dealing with us SYBSc. Semester is first semester and the subject that we are dealing with right now is Animal Diversity, paper 1. Animal Diversity 3, which is paper 1. Now, introduction to class Amphibia is the chapter. This is the fourth and the last lecture of this particular chapter. So today we are going to continue with parental care in Amphibia. Before moving on to the lecture, let's have a quick recap of whatever we have done till now about the parental care in Amphibia. Let's once more see what is the parental care. So basically parental care is all sort of behavioral and evolutionary strategies adopted by the parents for their young ones, for the betterment of their young ones, for the fitness of their young ones, for the best survival of their young ones. Okay. In simple language, care taken by the parents for the welfare of their young ones is called as parental care, which is one of the vital factor for the survival. Okay, now this we have already seen that this parental care this is seen in many of the organisms. Okay, and it is like in various forms this will be seen. Okay, so today we'll be focusing on the amphibians only. In the previous lectures also we have focused only on the amphibian. Today also we are going to focus only on the amphibian parental care, and what we have seen is basically there are two categories by which amphibians are going to take care of their young ones. The first one is protection by construction of nests, and the second one the first one is by protection of by constructing nests, nurseries or shelters, and the second one which we are going to see in this particular part, which is parental care in Amphibia part 2, that is direct nursing or caring by the parents. Let's see what are all the things that are present in direct nursing or caring by parent. Direct nursing or caring on special morphological structure on the body is one of the safest way of parental care shown by many amphibians. Some of these ways we'll be discussing now. Okay, so the first one is coiling around the body. So what happens here is, in some amphibians the females are going to lay large number of eggs. Okay, it may be in burrows of damp soil, and it is going to guard them. Okay, how is it going to guard them? It is going to guard them by coiling the body around it. Okay, so this particular, in case of here you can see that the eggs are laid, and this particular Ichthyophis female is guarding the eggs by coiling around the eggs, and she will stay there until the eggs are going to hatch. Okay, the other example include Amphibia, and there are many others. Okay, in salamander, Cedon female lays eggs in small packages. Okay, in the hollow spaces of rotten logs or below the rock or coils. Okay, here she is going to lay the eggs and then she is going to coil around them, thus resulting in its protection. Okay, now this is also one of the way by which transportation of tadpoles attached to the back of the parent. We are going to see it further also. Okay, transferring of tadpoles to the water. Now what happens over here is that in some species of small frog, eggs are laid on the ground. After hatching, the tadpoles get attached to the back of one of the parent by means of sucker-like mouth and flattened abdomen. Here in this particular diagram you can see this. Okay, so here what happens, this particular diagram of frog, transportation of tadpoles attached to the back of the parent. This particular diagram is the best example of transferring tadpoles to the water. Okay, so what you can see here is that the tadpoles have hatched and now they are attached to the body of the adult frog. Okay, it can be in some forms they are going to attach them to the female, in some other forms they are going to attach themselves to the male adults. Okay, so they are going to attach by means of sucker like mouth. Their mouth is going to act like a sucker, back like firmly attaching to the body of the parent. And the flattened abdomen is also going to, flattened abdomen of the say tadpole is also going to aid in this process, or is also going to help in this process. Okay, now after getting attached to this, then the adult frog is going to take them to the water body, and thus resulting in their transportation to the water body by means of the adult frog. So this is the example of transferring tadpoles to the water. So the image is actually posted in the previous slide, and here you do not find any image, just refer to the previous, or say the image is given in the previous slide, so you should just refer to it. The next one is eggs glued to the body. Now how does this happen? Now what happens here is, many amphibians, eggs will be glued to the body of the parent, right? Now let's see what are the examples of it. Here you can see two examples. Okay, one is of the salamander Desmognathus fuscus, and another is Aletus obstetricans. In the dusky salamander Desmognathus fuscus, the female carries the string of eggs coiled around her neck. So this is a string of eggs which will be coiled around her neck until, and she is going to carry them until they are hatched. Okay. Now another example is in Sri Lankan tree frog Rhacophorus reticulatus. What happens in this frog is that the eggs are glued to the belly of the female, right? So and then once the eggs are hatched, they will be laid into the water body. Now another example is in European midwife toad Aletus obstetricans. Once the female lays eggs, the male is going to entangle them around his hindlings. So here you can find that this Aletus male is carrying the eggs on his hind limbs. Okay, the eggs are entangled around his hind legs or hind limbs. The eggs are retained until the tadpoles are ready to hatch, and then once the tadpoles are ready to hatch, or once they at this particular time they will be released to the nearest water body. The next way by which the parental care is shown is eggs in back pouches. So the organism is having back pouches present, and the eggs will be protected in this particular back pouches. Here you can see the two example. One is of the marsupial frog, and the another one is of the nototrema. Okay, let's see what it is. In some frogs, female carries the egg on her back. Okay, either in an open oval depression or a closed pouch, or it may be a single pouch itself, or it may be individual pockets. So for each egg one pocket will be there, or the eggs will be present in the one single pouch. The eggs develop into miniature frogs, okay, before they leave their mother's back. They will only leave their mother's back when they are miniature frogs. The best example for this is Brazilian tree toad Hyla goldie, okay, or Cryptobatrachus evansi. The posterior part of the back of female forms a sort of brood pouch in which the eggs remain exposed. Okay. Another example here that you are seeing is nototrema. The eggs are covered by skin forming a single large brood pouch which opens posteriorly in front of the cloacal aperture. Okay. Now another example is of Suriname toad pipa. The skin of the female's back becomes thick, vascular, soft and gelatinous during the breeding season. The male presses the fertilized egg against the female's back. These eggs then are going to sink into the individual pits. An operculum, or say a cover, forms over each egg, and each of the egg will be enclosed. Okay. Now after closing of the egg, each of it is going to form a capsule like structure. Complete metamorphosis occurs within this particular capsule. The tiny toads leaving mother are tailless and do not enter the water at all. Organs as brooding pouches. Some amphibians use organs as the brooding pouches. In terrestrial South American Darwin's frog, Rhinoderma darwini, the male pushes at least 2 fertilized eggs where into his large vocal sacs. Okay, the eggs are going to undergo complete development over here in this vocal sacs and are going to emerge out as a fully formed froglets. Okay. In another example is in West African tree frog, Hylambatus breviceps. The female carries the eggs in her buccal cavity. Okay. In the another example, Artham leptis, it is the male who keeps the larvae in his mouth. In Australian frog Rheobatrachus silus, gastric incubation of the eggs is going to occur. Female stores the eggs in her stomach and the tadpoles will be expelled out through the mouth. Okay. Now let's move on to another part, which is vivipary, another way of protection. Some of the anurans are ovoviviparous. They retain eggs in their oviducts and the females give birth to the living young. Viviparity is commonly found in order Gymnophiona, and 3 out of 4 families have this mode of reproduction. African toads, Nectopherenoids and Pseudophyrine give birth to the little frogs. The European salamander, Salamandra salamandra, produces 20 or more small young ones, while the alpine salamander, Salamandra atra, gives birth to 1 or 2 fully developed young ones. Okay, so this was the various ways in which the frogs are going to protect their young ones. Clear? So this was all about this particular topic and also about this entire chapter of amphibians, and thank you so much for listening.